The cure for boredom is curiosity, and there is no cure for curiosity. This is a quote that I heard recently from Dorothy Parker, and I feel it actually best represents what we're going to be talking about in today's video. I have set up this video, and we are going to be talking about the Xbox Series X Starfield performance, fake reviewers being exposed, and paid for mods, and essentially kind of getting your thoughts, especially about the paid for mods, but we'll talk about it all in today's video. Hello everyone, and welcome to another Starfield video. My name's Brian, if you happen to be new around here, but this is, honestly, I don't know how to feel about this. This feels so humbling and also so strange to me. Welcome back and welcome into the 67,594 of y'all who've decided to take a chance on my content. I'm not used to this. I've been covering JRPGs mainly for a long time. I loved the JRPG, and I'm used to more subscriber loss because I believe in ultimate transparency when it comes to what it means to be a content creator. I have a job, guys. I go to work. This is what I do because I love sharing video games with you guys. So I'm going to bring it up. Last year alone, over 9,000 of y'all unsubbed, but you could see my RPM, and hell, even what I made last year. This year is crazy. The RPM is in half. Like, the money really comes from this channel. Like, that money really is from the members here at this channel. Like, this isn't a money-making scheme, but you can see here, I'm more used to, like, while I'll still net gain, it's been very slow going. So welcome in. I'm unbelievable and, unbelievably humbled and excited to see so many people enjoying the content. We've got a lot to talk about, and if you want to hang out for the cool stuff, you know, for those who do, that's going to be just kind of bookmarked to the end because it's not necessarily related to gaming. Like I said, I believe in hyper transparency. I post my stats and everything like that once a month so that you guys know what's going on, and I'd like to be able to answer any questions that you have, especially around my content. But all that being said, let's dive into the core of this video. I'm not here to waste people's time. We got a lot to talk about though, and I really appreciate y'all being here. First and foremost, community shout out Francois, hopefully I'm not butchering that, says, I really loved seeing your reaction to Phil Spencer on stage. I like following people who are passionate about video games. Your YouTube videos are really good. I listen to them on my way to work. Keep up the good work. So shout out to all of y'all commuters out there, and shout out to Francois. Thank you so much for tweeting at me this stuff. Put positive things out in the world. Like, if you can, you know, take a moment and always just, you know, call your mom if you have that ability and tell her you love her. Like, take an opportunity today to pause this video and go do something that's putting something good out in the world, right? And so I want to hopefully make this video about that, and I'm going to hopefully be actually doing some other creator shout outs because I know I'm an acquired taste. Let's continue to spread the love. So if you don't like me, that's perfectly fine. I'll see if I can't find people that you might enjoy a little bit better, and we'll see if we can't do a shout out in the next video or two, just depending on my schedule. So I'm still building out those art assets to help do the shout outs. Now, let's get into the core, why you actually clicked on this video. Hopefully I didn't waste any time in that intro. That was long. Anyway, Kareem says, Starfield reviewer gets caught faking negative news about Starfield, and it's glorious. Good job, internet. You remain undefeated. In fact, I talked about this in my video yesterday, which is absolutely freaking insane that you guys supported it as well you did, with over 16,000 likes, 164, not 16,000. Geez Louise. Man, dyslexic brain, and I need some coffee right now. 1,664. I've never seen that kind of like count on a video. In fact, it blew the last one back. We're going to keep these things at a humble 200. So you guys just are insane. I appreciate all of y'all. Anyway, I in the last video, what this was about, I kind of called this out, and I was like, oh, if this is real, he's talking a lot of crap about, especially the Series S. This really ties into that narrative, and that's where I build into what Gene is saying here. Gene Park saying, my day the other day, Starfield on the Xbox Series S. Now, Boz, and hopefully I almost said balls, but Boz says, is the Series S worth it? I'm interested in Starfield and I want to play it soon, but I don't want to spend money on a Series X. Gene says, it's good, definitely worth it for now, since there is console parity with the X. Now, that is seeming more that they're talking about how the Series S is in parity with the Series X feature-wise, and no, resolution is not a feature. I see a lot of people like, this resolution is lower. This is them not, you know, like honoring their terms. And I actually go into a lot of detail about what I call the problems with the Series S. If you guys like, I have a whole series, the problem with, and then we talk about something and I bring in my development experience and stuff. So as a dev's perspective, and I hope that you guys enjoy that series. I don't know if you guys saw that video, but it is on the channel if you want to go watch it. I think there's actually a playlist for the whole problem with series, and hopefully you get an opportunity to check it out. But I think this is really fascinating when it comes down to it. Like when it just comes to the fake reviewers, we talked about that in yesterday's video. I don't need to rehash it here. The Series X is going to be a question here because I feel like if nothing else, if it does not perform well on the Series S, that's just going to hyperinflate the narrative about the optimization around that system. And I'm not saying that there isn't extra work that you have to do to put the game on the Series S, because that is always going to be the case whenever you're trying to support an SKU. However, if it does run well, if it does and the game performs well in the Series X and the Series S, that will be finally some fuel to kind of, or not fuel, we don't want to throw fuel on a fire, some water to douse the raging fires around all the information from people who aren't engineers talking about how the Series S is holding back Xbox. It's not doing that. I think it offers a lot for a lot of people, especially like we're saying here with Boz, who does not have the money or does not want to buy a Series X. I believe in choice for the gamers, right? I believe in that. That's why, primarily I'm a PC gamer. So, giving me more platforms, more ways and options to support is a good thing. Now, I want to take a shift into mods now, because I talked about, like, there's three main topics. That was kind of the first two: fake reviewers, Series S. Now that we're caught up, let's talk about mods, paid for mods itself. So in yesterday's video, we talked about how Bethesda Studios has a dedicated team for Starfield, and so mod support, etc. Like at the end of the day, like that's one of the things that just makes also PC gaming vastly different. We have seen Xbox support mods on the consoles, and so it's gonna be interesting to see. But Jasper jumps in and says there's gonna be paid mods. A massive backlash will come from it. I'd like to kind of take a moment to talk about this. Is that I would say, if anything, there will be a knee-jerk reaction whenever people are presented with new information that doesn't necessarily align with their expectations. That's natural to be like, hey, wait, what do you mean? I got this for free and now I have to pay for it. But what is interesting in this regards, especially with the idea that there could be paid mods, that somebody who's making a mod could make money off of that, I actually fully support that. Like, one of the things about social media that I like abhor is that it's an attention-driven system. To get paid, you have to get attention. So the incentive for me is to try and get as much attention as possible, and typically that leans more into the negative. That means typically more into the echo chamber, into groupthink, right? That's essentially where we're incentivized in a weirdest way to essentially conform to one way of thinking. And so that in and of itself is strange. But in this case, like, because there is a monetization piece to it, it could mean better quality, right? Like, getting paid isn't essentially a bad thing. Doing these things isn't essentially wrong to get paid for the work that you do. And sometimes people get into modding to try and get into the gaming industry in and of itself. So I don't actually have a personal problem with this, because we are able to quote unquote monetize in many different ways. And if you're able to make a revenue stream by making really cool stuff that people want to pay for, then I think having companies open that up, it adds this extra form of earned media, another whole avenue. An industry can be built off of these kind of things. And while it's not standard across the whole thing, it could be interesting to see how that develops. So I actually don't have any personal issue with paid for mods. I don't have any personal issue for people who make money. Like, I make money off these videos and whatnot. But yeah, like it's all really just like, hey, no, be transparent. Like my answer to all of that is just be transparent about it. Don't be sitting here like trying to hide it. Like, no, oh yeah, like, how do you make a living? I make mods for Starfield. Oh, tell me more about that, because that sounds like an interesting career. But Justin Sheen follows us up, says, so the mod team's guy is named Andy Griffin? Okay, GTFO. Love the video, but just lol. And yeah, his name's Andrew Griffiths, or Griffiths in this case. I think that's, it's cool. Like, it's really, I don't know. Like, I laughed about that because I didn't even notice the name, but it is mod team. Go get him, Andrew. I'm rooting for you, but I thought that was a funny comment to highlight. Now, I'm going to dismiss the class. Thank you. This is where the gaming section ends, and we're going to get into the community section. This is positive and negative. One reason why I want to highlight positive and negative comments, or at least not necessarily negative comments that disagree with me or push back on my ideas, is because, again, I don't want an echo chamber, and That's why like that unsubscribe button is right somewhere on your page. You can always go be free, be happy, and just enjoy life. You don't have to worry about some ginger from Texas, wrecking it. That's not ever my goal. Like, I like to talk about video games, but I also like to talk about life. We talk a little bit about games, a little bit about life here, and that's what it's going to be, what it is. But we'll start with the positive. We'll dip into people pushing back on things that I've said, and then we'll end with kind of one final, positive comment. So anyway, if you were just here for the game stuff, peace. Thanks for being here. Hit that like button on your way out. And if you're sticking around for the rest of this stuff, buckle up. Let's get into it. All right. David Joan Stone says, like yourself, I'm a father and I'm also a grandfather. In my opinion, this game is very, very special. I can't wait to play. Now, if you get your game done, I'll be honored to test it. Yes, if I ever get into a state where that happens, I keep restarting, and that's just, again, it's a whole, I got to get more disciplined. And right now I'm being disciplined with my weight loss. So the game stuff is taking a lower, priority. And that's just me being honest. Once I lose 100 pounds, which I'm well on the way, and I can't wait to share with you guys my results. Once that happens, I will be absolutely, we'll have a bigger conversation about what that looks like. Anyway, take care, brother. My hype for my wife, my hype has my wife laughing at me. As we say in Scotland, freedom, awesome, unbiased content. Now, I'd push back a little bit. Like, I think every one of us has a bias, and I just try to always acknowledge it. I do prefer the Xbox ecosystem. I do prefer the Xbox controller. Like, that is something that I enjoy over a PlayStation controller, the PlayStation ecosystem. But I have a PlayStation 5. I like playing PlayStation games. I have no issue with buying a game on a PlayStation and play it on a PlayStation. I just wish PlayStation supported more platforms. My biggest frustration over this last year is that Final Fantasy 16 exclusive to PS5 for 2023. Absolutely DS, like dog. And in this case, and the reason it ends up being is because there's performance issues. PlayStation 5 wasn't able to output that game at a performance level that I felt was, what I would want from a premiere experience. And I don't expect my consoles to be a premiere experience. They prevented me from having a premiere experience. This is a Square Enix problem, hands down, in my opinion. They made the deal. They hopefully got paid. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just going to vent a little bit and then move on with my life. It's like, okay, guys, I would have preferred this to be better. I'm looking forward to when it comes out to PC, but I wouldn't call me unbiased, right? Like, I think we all have that. I just want to always try to just call out my own, like, hey, here's my preconceived notions. Here's the life experiences that have led me to this point, in that regards. But awesome, Dave. I appreciate your comment. And also, tip of the hat to another father. For those of you who are still here and don't know, I got 6 kids. I absolutely love being a dad. Wife and I couldn't have kids for a long time, and she had to have brain surgery. Now we're here. We got 6 kids. Crazy adventure. Welcome to life. Like, we won't get into it. Absolutely crazy. Watch the stand-up comedy, Not Safe for Work. You'll get more of my life story through my stand-up. Anyway, Noble Switchman says, hey, Ginger, I like your honesty on your platform. Say it as you find it and letting all people have their say, good or bad. We need more of this on YouTube, and I really enjoy your posts. Keep up the great work, my friend. Thank you. This is the kind, like, if you agree with Noble, like, go to that video, go give him some love on that comment. This is high praise. Seeing this is high praise because for me, it's Noble recognizing what I'm trying to do here. And it's not, it's not to become a full-time YouTuber. Like, that will never happen, by the way. You could throw thousands of zeros past the subscriber number. I'm still going to go to work. I like working. I like being a software engineer. I like providing my family with a stable income that isn't reliant on trying to game the algorithm or trying to I occasionally hit a trend. Right now, I would say with Starfield, like, this is a trend, but I was already all in on Starfield since they did the May update. Prior to the May update, like I've told you, wasn't interested in the game at all. I was like, I want to see the game. I want to see what it's about. So I'm curious, remain curious, people, but and so after the May Xbox thing, I was like, let's go. And I'm so excited that you guys are resonating with the content I like. I'm sure once the Starfield hype dies down, other trends will come and go, and if I'm not interested in that subject, you won't see me talk about that subject because I don't need that. That's not my goal. I know people have that, and I'm not trying to shoot. If you have a goal of trying to be a full-timer out there, I'm not trying to shoot you down, go for it. You do you, but I like that having a job and my career path give me to bring to you guys in this channel. I could be as completely honest with you, and unsubbing and leaving the channel and never returning has no negative impact on my life at all. In fact, if you're toxic, then my life just got better because I don't have to sit here and read. And I try to read y'all's comments and engage with you because I feel like you guys give me attention. I want to give it back to you. I think that's a beautiful thing about what we have with this technology. And there's been positive and negative aspects of it. Now, Sock Doc says you're shifting into the negative because we want to highlight both. Your channel sucks. Thanks. The engagement on leaving this comment supports the channel. Thank you for engaging with the video. I hope you have a good day. Go find something you like in this world. So keep Sock in your prayer. All right. Here's, like I said, here's the thing about life, and I want to kind of push back on it. But the Ebony Engineer says, not having talking about pushing back on my idea when I say, I'm anti-Marxist, and I'm publicly about that. Very that's what very anti-Marxist to the point. But if you guys haven't studied, I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours really kind of studying the history of it and how it shifted from actually Occupy Wall Street, very Marxist in kind of nature, into what we call now as woke. Now, woke is a term that a lot of people shy away from. That's why it's just easier for me to just call it Marxism. You do not have to agree with me in this regards. That's perfectly fine. However, I want to highlight this because this is the counterpoint to some of the views that I have. I would encourage people to go be curious and go and study this movement, etc. And once the blindfold kind of falls off and you realize I'm just calling a duck in this case. If it acts like a Marxist and talks like a Marxist and walks like a Marxist and thinks like a Marxist, maybe you're a Marxist and if you want to consider it woke, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to call it what I see it. But let's push back on that. Maybe I'm wrong, right? So not having a mafia middleman for your healthcare is woke. Paying less for healthcare is work. It's a religion. Making the lives for working class better by critiquing the current system is woke. Everything I don't like is woke. Now, economic empowerment for families is now considered woke, and tax cuts for the wealthy for the U.S. apple pie. You like curiosity when it comes to these topics? Stick with gaming news, aka at Ginger Prime Gaming. So nothing what they list here is actually woke. So having being somebody who is pro-worker, that's something I am. I believe in empowering the worker, and honestly, the best way to empower the worker, and I'm going to tell you guys straight up, pay off your dadgum debts. Get out of effing debt. Me and my wife paid off $100,000, and it does give you more bargaining power, especially when it comes to work. A lot of these corporations want you to be ensnared to them because that gives them more power. They want both of you they want everybody working. They want to, anyway. Woo! I'm about to just get into it. But in this case, no, nothing that the Ebony Engineer actually listed is woke at all. But they are correct in saying that a lot of people use that term and use it incorrectly to label things that they don't like or whatever. This is more of a left versus right, and I could care less. I think my personal political view is the people in power use this left and right concept to keep us, the people, actually fighting each other over bull crap, and thus not actually making any real progress to get things done in this country. Because I think as a people we could, but we're working ourselves to death. We're over, we're people, when I look at just the numbers, this is all, I always just go to the data. When you look at the numbers of people living paycheck to paycheck, when you look at the reality of, people can't leave their work because their health insurance is tied to it, that's a bad system. Look, if I could change it, if I had a magic wand, I don't know if I'd make it better. I'm not stupid enough to think I'm smart enough to fix it with just a magic wand. These are complex problems. But Ebony Engineer in this case is making some big assumptions of things that I'm not saying based off of other interactions that they probably had with other people. Get it? I get it. I'm used to it, right? I'm publicly Catholic. And because of that, I did some time in Oklahoma, not in jail. That's part of the jokes for the comedy. As a Catholic in Oklahoma, life was hard. I get it. There's a lot of assumptions. People also assume because I'm publicly Catholic, all these things about me. I'm used to it. I'm forged in fire based off of people's assumptions. But if you actually get to know me, then I think all of a sudden you start to challenge what you hear and think and know. And then that's the goal, right? Understanding, and that's why understanding and curiosity are two of the best things that I can try to encourage people to be, right? Be curious, go ask questions, right? That's going to be the important thing. But yeah, I feel like, and sticking to gaming news, sure. But nobody out there, and with all due respect, none of y'all own this channel. And you're welcome, and I will take your feedback, and I will highlight your feedback, and I will listen to your feedback. But don't tell me what to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to encourage you to man up and be the best person that you could be. And if you're not a man, to woman up, in this case. I speak probably better to men because I understand men better. I've been married for 13 years, and I'm still figuring that out. But she's an incredible freaking legend, and she's the best part of me. And with me and my family, we're absolutely blessed. But my goodness, oh boy, that was spicy. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. Let's round this out with a kind of a last thought. Obviously, this kind of kicked off with the Finland stuff. So let's go back to Finland. Tom Simurunen says, watch this video on my TV, but I did have to pull up my phone for this comment. I also am from Finland. Like the commenter in your last video, I can 100% confirm that Finland is a socialist communist state where the government taxes you to death. We even have a term for taspaspelen. I'm so sorry. Oh God, I'm so sorry for that. I not just dyslexic, but dyslexic in a Finnish language. I failed you, which means something like forced equity, and everyone needs to be at the same level on everything. I know that you did not refer to the politics in the last video, rather the woke Marxist religion. Sub instantly to the channel, great videos and based mindset. So awesome. It's not just all negative out there. I know that, again, I'm an acquired taste, and that's why you should have the freedom to watch whoever the hell you want. And I want to encourage you to do that. In fact, that's why, again, at the start of this video, show off subscriber loss. I'm used to this. I'm not used to the fact that you guys are subbing in such numbers. So thank you guys for that. But in this case, though, I didn't get into it too much. But the healthcare issue is a complex issue, right? And the same thing, actually, it literally transfers directly to the problem within gaming. And maybe that will be a bigger topic for another day. So all that being said, is the investment that people make, like the healthcare treatments and drugs and everything, are coming out of the United States because there is money and profit to be made in it. We can all boo that, and to a degree, there needs to be a conversation about how to make it accessible and affordable. But I had a surgery where my gallbladder got removed, and there's barely a scar. But 30 years ago, they'd have to cut around my whole body, or maybe it was 40 years ago. We have been developing treatments and stuff like that really can help benefit people's lives. Now, I'm also fiercely anti-big pharma. My family personally got screwed over. My dad lost everything. We were on the verge of homelessness. I went to bed one night, and the next day, waking up to being evicted from a house, not knowing where we're going to go. My parents worked all night, and eventually I was able to find us a trailer park that we were able to move into as a kid. And this is because my dad helped get people off of drugs in the nursing homes, because he was doing a good thing, so much so that he pissed off the big pharma industry, and they went and screwed with our lives majorly. So I have a bias, guys. I'm not big into pharma, but I understand also all the other intricacies, because for some reason, and this is probably maybe I am OCD, but for some reason, I have to continue to keep asking questions. I love asking questions. I'm very, very curious by nature. I've never been bored I can't remember the last time I was bored. But then again, I got a lot of kids, and they ask questions, and we go find answers. And that's what this is about. It's about seeking understanding and trying to love everybody, but the way that you can love them. And sometimes that's just listening to some guy rant about topics about a video game that he's excited about for over 20 plus some odd minutes. So if you made it all the way to the end of this video, you are truly incredible. And I hope that you got something really good out of it. I'm going to wish you guys all the absolute very best. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. But until then, take care.